one.
Darkness thickened over the Italian sky, bringing with it a heavy, indescribable tension. I knew tonight's hunt would be unlike any other. Wild boars are relentless adversaries, their razor-sharp tusks and relentless claws ravaging crops, causing farmers millions in damage. We had prepared thoroughly, ready to face these fierce beasts head-on. But would everything go according to plan? Or was an even greater challenge lurking in the shadows? Stay with us to find out what unfolds. The clock had just struck 7 p.m. when we swiftly moved into position as planned. As the night thickened, the beam of our flashlights became the only way to detect any movement ahead. The target appeared. I quickly chose the perfect shooting angle and fired a decisive shot, bringing the beast down. The sharp crack of a successful ambush echoed, a promising start to tonight's hunt. Without hesitation, we launched into the chase, following our carefully laid out plan to make a big catch and bring peace to the local villagers.
3, 2, 1.
Following the trail, suddenly the signal light flickered from the eastern field. The bait trap was a success. We moved in immediately, every sense razor sharp, tension tightening like a noose around us. Look at that. Quite a crowd indeed. Each shot was set up perfectly with deadly precision. Every kill meant a release for this land from those sharp, destructive claws. As darkness deepened, it marked the peak time when the wild boars appeared in full force. Based on experience and careful observation, I was confident the edges of the field were where they gathered, and my instinct proved right. The beasts surged out, growing in number as they began their nightly surge of food and destruction. When the target slipped into the sights, a shot rang out, swift and precise. One fell, the rest, reacting instantly, vanished into the shadows, leaving behind an eerie silence, a chilling declaration that this hunt was only just beginning. With limited visibility in the darkness, using high-tech gear like infrared binoculars became essential for night hunting. This advanced equipment made it much easier for us to zero in on our target. Minutes later, a familiar silhouette quietly grazing came into clear view. The moment was right. a sharp shot echoed through the night. Spot on. A small victory was quickly secured. Just imagine, without the help of technology, this battle would have been a grueling challenge. Suddenly, silence fell over the space, making the air heavier than ever. Waiting in position, I couldn't help but feel the tension rise, my eyes locked on the viewfinder, anticipating the beast's appearance. Through the binoculars, the target came sharply into the crosshairs. At that very moment, the bullet was released. The shot echoed through the night, ending the creature's presence. A silent showdown concluded, sealing the fate of this wild menace. A clear message that there's no place for destruction on this land. The forest edge seemed never to lose its restless pulse. Once again, a signal echoed, a stark reminder that the wild boar's presence was far from fading. Quick footsteps and mounting tension filled the air as we closed in. This time, they showed no caution, seemingly lost in hunger and abandon. Gunfire cracked like a final period, ending the life of the beast, the last target for the night. In the end, we reclaimed what had been ravaged. But the cost of this silence and victory, perhaps only I could truly feel.
We can't stand by and watch the crops be destroyed. Tonight marks the end. As darkness blankets the fields, the wild boars emerge from their hiding places, slinking through the dense forest in search of food. With their razor-sharp tusks, they uproot the soil, devastate crops, and cause millions of dollars in damage to farmers. Tonight, fearless hunters are ready to confront and stop these savage beasts. Will they have the courage to halt the rampage of these wild creatures? Join us for the thrilling moments ahead, and don't forget to pick the shot that impresses you the most. The moon rose high, and darkness gradually enveloped the vast fields. Thomas and his team were in position, fully prepared to confront the savage beasts. The team quickly spread out, surrounding the field, determined to reclaim the land that had been ravaged by the creatures for many nights. Not long after, the first gunshot rang out from Jack's position. Through his infrared binoculars, he swiftly spotted a wild boar grazing intently. Not letting it continue its destruction, he pulled the trigger. The beast collapsed instantly, its rampage brought to an end. From other positions, gunshots echoed one after another, cutting off all escape routes. A precise and flawless opening strike set the stage for a thrilling night hunt. At the edge of the field, a herd of wild boars was gathering, beginning their destructive rampage. One of the team's shooters, upon spotting them, quickly selected a suitable position and angle. Gunshots rang out in rapid succession, taking down two of the largest and fattest boars in the herd. But the remaining ones bolted, disappearing into the darkness. Receiving the signal, Thomas and his teammates moved to the location using the GPS. Through his binoculars, he spotted a herd of wild boars busily foraging. With everything prepared, Thomas swiftly took action to stop the beasts from further destruction. A barrage of bullets flew, taking down one boar after another. The field was now littered with the carcasses of the wild boars. Thomas's team had secured the safety of the field, at least for tonight. Night hunting is already a challenge, but hunting in a freezing snow-covered forest is exponentially harsher. Despite this, Nick's hunting team fearlessly ventured deep into the snowy forest to track the wild boars hiding within. After a tense wait, Nick's teammates spotted the boar herd silently emerging from the underbrush. Without hesitation, he opened fire. The rapid gunshots echoed, swiftly taking down the lead boar. However, the remaining boars reacted with lightning speed, retreating back into the dense thickets. The team swiftly dispersed, tracking the faint traces left by the wild boar herd. After 15 minutes of searching, Nick spotted a lone boar breaking away, charging across the snow-covered hillside. A gunshot rang out instantly, and the boar collapsed, completely unaware of what had struck it. On the other side of the snowy forest, a shooter in the team quickly spotted a wild boar hiding beneath snow-laden branches. Choosing the optimal position and angle, he promptly pulled the trigger. The bullet rang out decisively, and the boar collapsed onto the white snow. Another threat was eliminated.
Y'a rien, tire pas.
Shortly after, the other hunters took down the remaining targets one by one. All escape routes were sealed. The destructive beasts had no chance to cause further damage. Today's journey comes to a close here. Each tense trigger pull, from the white snow to the black night, helped erase the fears of the local people.
Magnifique.
Cunning beasts, with their sharp intelligence and razor-like hooves, ravage crops and instill terror among farmers. Fearless hunters, undeterred by harsh weather, stand ready to confront them and protect the community. Thrilling chases and spectacular ambushes are about to unfold, revealing the outcome. Don't hesitate. Join us now to witness and pick the most epic hunt. Hunting wild boar in harsh, snowy conditions. Seemingly impossible, but for John's hunting team, nothing is out of reach. The team ventured into the snowy mountains of Turkey in their trusty vehicle. Upon arrival, they swiftly deployed into formation, moving to pre-planned ambush points. Not long after, on the eastern side of the range, a familiar dark shape darted across Finn's line of sight. Tracking the wild boar's movement, he pulled the trigger. The gunshot rang out decisively, and the boar collapsed, lying motionless on the white snow. At another spot, a team member spotted a dark figure weaving through dense branches. The wild boar was completely unaware it was in the hunter's crosshairs. As soon as its body emerged from the thick underbrush, rapid gunshots rang out, cutting off all escape routes. Before it could comprehend what was happening, it lay still on the snowy ground. The pursuit pressed on, with John quietly tracking faint hoof prints etched in the white snow.
You can see the two.
Suddenly, a wild boar emerged, cunningly concealed in a hollow among dense bushes. Without hesitation, John swiftly closed in, gripping his rifle firmly. A decisive gunshot rang out, and the beast collapsed on the spot, unable to resist. Another threat eliminated, the hunt surged toward its climax. The barking of hunting dogs echoed across the distant forest, and Finn immediately bolted toward the familiar sound. Within minutes, he arrived, facing a wild boar cornered by the pack, frantically seeking an escape. Without hesitation, a shot struck the boar's body, halting its desperate bid for freedom. Another mark was etched into the snowy mountains, cold, brutal, and fiercely intense. A tense ambush was unfolding in a garden in France, where the beasts were ravaging crops. Another hunting team had arrived, setting up a tight encirclement around the garden. Just minutes after taking position, two wild boars suddenly charged past Nick and his teammates. A rapid volley of shots rang out. The larger, heftier boar dropped instantly. While the other swiftly escaped into the adjacent field in a split second. Determined not to let the wild boar escape, Nick immediately signaled through the radio, pinpointing its direction for his teammates. On the other side, a marksman stood ready, firmly gripping the rifle. As predicted, the boar appeared. A rapid burst of gunfire erupted, crushing any hope of its escape. The cunning beasts were subdued, and the garden was temporarily safe from danger today.
$300 acres of farmland wiped out in just 2 weeks? Over $600,000 in damages? The culprits? A relentless swarm of wild hogs, breeding out of control and hiding deep in the thick Texas brush. Pickup trucks can't keep up. Rifles don't have the range. John's hunting team is left with only one option: helicopters. While local farmers stand by helplessly, watching their land get torn apart, the hunters prepare for an all-out aerial pursuit. Every move is calculated. Every shot must count. Hunter or hunted, who decides the outcome? Don't miss it. The battle from above is about to begin. At daybreak, John's helicopter roared through the sky, tearing across the horizon in pursuit of the beasts below. The landscape came into sharp focus, a herd of wild hogs, moving in formation through the brush. Without hesitation, the pilot dropped altitude, bringing the chopper in low to give the shooters a clean angle. Gunfire erupted in rapid bursts. One by one, the beasts dropped. In mere seconds, hog carcasses were scattered across the ground, marking the start of a fast, brutal assault, and kicking off today's high-stakes hunt with precision and power. The helicopter continued to circle, then shifted direction toward an open field nearby. Within minutes, another herd of wild hogs came into view. The pilot closed in fast, but these hogs were clever, constantly changing direction, making it difficult to get a clear shot. Still, years of experience paid off. The flight crew and gunners moved in perfect sync, operating like a well-oiled war machine. It was a relentless chase, and not a single hog escaped the team's accuracy and resolve. By the end of today, this land will breathe easier peace, finally restored. Just as the signal came in about the wild hog's location, John's helicopter changed course instantly, shooting through the sky like an arrow. No need for many orders. Every move was executed with flawless precision and practiced skill. In a flash, gunfire erupted, and the mission was swiftly completed clean without a single mistake. Every shot missed one hog down. As the aerial battle drew to a spectacular close, the ground war heated up with Jack's tactical team ready to move in. The moment the order came, the team quickly took their pre-assigned positions. Jack headed straight to the eastern trail. As the beast revealed itself, a powerful shot drove straight into the target. A decisive strike, executed with absolute precision. The perfect coordination brought the mission to a swift and successful end, securing this land once again. Elsewhere, Finn stood quietly, eyes locked on every movement around him. Suddenly, a herd of wild hogs dashed through his line of sight. Without hesitation, a rapid burst of gunfire rang out. The lucky ones escaped, but many fell, struck down with power and precision. That's the hunting team's style. Focused, mission-driven, and always ready. The hunter's footsteps pressed on, tracking the remaining game. Soon, the sharp barks of the hunting dogs echoed loudly. At the sound, Jack charged forward without hesitation. Before him, the massive silhouette of the beast came into view. Without a second thought, he squeezed the trigger, clean and decisive. The beast collapsed with a heavy thud, a swift strike that restored freedom to this land. Though many wild hogs were taken down, the battle isn't over. Their breeding pace remains relentless. This success is thanks to the close cooperation between the hunting team, local residents, and authorities, all working together to protect the crops and maintain peace.
Thousands of farmlands across the United States are being ravaged by feral hogs. They sweep through like a destructive force, wiping out crops and livestock enclosures, leaving behind barren fields and millions of dollars in damage. But the hunters have stepped in. Every ambush and chase today is part of the fight to reclaim this land. Do they have what it takes to hold the final line of defense? Let's find out right now. The intense chase through the Oklahoma forest marked the opening scene of today's hunt. Jack and his team arrived at the designated location with their skilled hunting dogs. As soon as they got there, the team spread out in different directions, and the dogs immediately took off to follow the scent. After 15 minutes of searching, a familiar signal rang out, indicating that the prey had been found. The whole team rushed to the spot. Hidden in the thick grass, a wild boar was struggling to escape the tightening circle of dogs. Just a moment later, a gunshot rang out. The boar dropped on the spot with no time to flee. At that very moment, a cold and calculated ambush was unfolding, almost as if the hunter had predicted the prey's every move. Mike held his position at a familiar trail choke point, eyes locked on the slightest motion to rush ahead. Then, a wild boar quietly emerged from the undergrowth. Without hesitation, Mike pulled the trigger the instant it stepped into view. The gunshot rang out, clean and decisive. The beast collapsed on the spot. At the same time, shots echoed from other directions, signaling that more targets have been taken down. Now comes a precision shot that couldn't have been more perfect from the track hunting team. On this trip, Track and his teammates coordinated seamlessly with their elite hunting dogs. The entire team had arrived early and moved straight into their pre-planned positions. Not long after, on the far side of the hill, one of Track's teammates spotted a wild boar being closely pursued by the dogs. Not giving it a chance to fight back, he raised his rifle, took careful aim, and pulled the trigger. With a single shot, the beast dropped, taken down before it could even turn its head. An exceptional marksman. Just one precise move was enough to bring down the prey instantly. Atop the hills of Missouri, a heart-pounding chase was unfolding. Luca's hunting team had just picked up fresh tracks when suddenly, a massive wild boar, easily over 400 pounds, came charging through, its frantic sprint hinting at something it was desperately fleeing from. Without hesitation, the team snapped into position. A barrage of gunfire rang out, each shot tracking the beast's every stride. The chase came to a swift end just beyond a pile of rocks and dirt. One more threat eliminated. Peace restored once again to the hills of Missouri. Wild boars in this area are incredibly cunning. Just a single second, and they vanish without a trace. Finally, the target emerged. It stepped out slowly, unaware that fate was already closing in. Taking perfect aim, Ronnie squeezed the trigger. One shot, clean and quiet, the boar dropped on a bed of dry leaves. A cold, calculated takedown, bringing an eerie end to a silent ambush.
Why hunt wild hogs? That's a question many have asked. This is not just a pastime for hunters, it is a matter of survival. The farmlands of France are slowly being destroyed under the claws and tusks of these fierce creatures. Now is the time for hunters to face danger head-on to protect a piece of the harvest. Will today's battle end in success? Stay tuned for the moments that follow. At dawn, Kevin's team set out toward the planned location. No words were spoken, only swift and precise actions. The hunt was on. After 10 minutes of searching, the baying of hunting dogs caught Kevin's attention. Without hesitation, he rushed forward, eyes sharp and focused. Then, unexpectedly, a fierce wild hog charged straight at him. A decisive strike brought the beast down in an instant. One threat was eliminated swiftly and cleanly. The sun climbed high, but Kevin's team showed no signs of slowing down. Their footsteps never ceased as they pressed on in pursuit of their prey. The scene ahead was vivid. A group of wild hogs hiding and foraging among the tall grass. Kevin quickly picked his shooting angle and settled into the best position to fire. The cold sound of gunfire rang out without pause, each shot nearly perfect. One by one, the wild hogs dropped instantly. Now, the land was littered with fallen beasts. A victory marked, and the field made safer. Before they could pause, the barking sounded again a few hundred meters away. Without hesitation, Kevin charged forward, his sharp eyes scanning the surroundings. There it was, the wild hog's silhouette revealed in plain sight. One shot was all it took to bring the beast down. Another threat neutralized instantly. The battle pressed on, adding another victory to Kevin's team. While Kevin was locked in a fierce fight, Jack pushed deeper into the nearby forest. His eyes sharp as a bowstring scanned every tree, his rifle ready to fire at a moment's notice. In an instant, the beast darted across his sightline. He held his breath, squeezed the trigger. The animal fought with all its strength to escape, but the shot had sealed its fate. Victory was certain. What do you think? Was that shot quick and precise enough? Leave a comment and let us know. Before he could get closer to investigate, the relentless barking of the hunting dogs immediately caught Jack's attention. He changed direction, weaving through thick trees as he closed in. Seconds later, the beast's figure appeared clearly through the scope. Without hesitation, the shot was fired, striking the animal dead on. A swift, clean, and precise strike, ending yet another threat to this area. At the same time, Kevin executed a flawless ambush. He moved into a highly strategic hiding spot, patiently waiting for the wild game to appear. Before long, familiar shapes entered his sights. Without hesitation, shots rang out, quickly taking down each target. Hunting wild hogs has never been an easy game. It demands courage, careful preparation, and a constant readiness to face every danger.